and now 102.3 FM.
Fire Up Connect is the most innovative business networking group, supporting and collaborating with a dozen of small businesses that are interested in building and establishing strong business connections, hosting educational live seminars while carrying out business and community-driven projects, as well as marketing programs as a part of its membership program. Fire Up Connect also offers virtual assistance with a wide range of services including inbound customer support, chat support, appointment setting and email management, graphic designing, video editing, web design and development, social media marketing, e-commerce solution, content writing and much more. For more information, head on over to www.fireupconnect.com. Fire Up Connect, helping success stories unfold every day.
The toughest part in the lending process is patience. Like I tell all my clients, once you get those keys in hand, it'll all be worth it.
Everything that they said they were going to do, they did. I saved so much money working with First Lending Solutions. I love my new house. I couldn't be happier.
So reach out to me at First Lending Solutions so I can help you get started.
You can contact Defina Miller with First Lending Solutions at 951-973-0123, definamillermortgage.com.
I love how New School is able to help me greatly with my career
because they actually have experience working in the field. The greatest thing about New School is the fact that there are so many different disciplines, which allows you to really understand and get a good insight into different types of design. And I think it's that whole changing mindset of what design can really do for a city, and this is kind of the place to be.
This environment cultivates creative thinking.
Real Men of Real Estate with Steve Matley, construction manager and real estate developer, business owner, and educator.
Did you know that right now there's 22,000 units deficit?
Tunde Ogunwale, real estate development professional, Naval Academy grad, and veteran with a deep understanding of the public sector process.
All of us want to live in thriving communities.
Brian Fox, real estate expert and investor, dedicated to helping hundreds of clients make money in real estate every year.
There's so much housing going in.
The builders are begging for more land.
Future company can come in, lease up space to employ those people who are living in the homes.
We have to put the housing in place.
We either have to have houses.
They want to make sure that there's a strong employment.
Logistics centers, things like information hubs. We are a shipping economy now. There's economies all over the country where their prices are doubling and tripling.
Hello, welcome to Fire Up Connect. Are you a small business owner? Do you lack the resources to manage your business? Is visibility and brand awareness a top priority for you? Fire Up Connect is a community of small business owners. We help our members find the right connections and the right resources to help them be successful. This isn't your typical business networking group. Members of Fire Up Connect are innovative, driven, and all about building long-lasting relationships. We work to identify your goals and understand what it is you do and how we can help you brand yourself and your business. Fire Up Connect is about creating business opportunities, community projects, educational sessions, and live seminars to help implement effective marketing programs for our members. Fire Up Connect helps members gain validation in their businesses, learn what challenges similar business leaders are facing, and access to subject matter experts on how to overcome these challenges. Fire Up Connect offers opportunities for organic exposure through our many marketing events, programs, and projects. There are 4 colors that make up Fire Up Connect. Yellow represents the back office and services available to Fire Up Connect members. Red represents Fire Up Connect's marketing and advertising resources, such as TV shows, radio, magazine book publication, and movie projects. Green represents Fire Up Connect's referral system, tracking incentives. And blue represents Fire Up Connect's donation, fundraising, and scholarship programs. Fire Up Connect members have access to monthly business sessions, price discounts on affiliated companies, and all Fire Up Connect programs, book publications, published articles for your business, access to Fire Up Connect scheduled webinar events, a photo shoot session, and a video production. Join us for our annual Fire Up Live seminars and gain valuable connections in the Fire Up community and boost your business. We believe in your business. We believe in what you do. At Fire Up Connect, we believe in you. Join us for our annual Fire Up Live seminars to gain, discover, and get fired up.
Welcome to the Fabulous Lifestyle Radio Show, where we talk about food, fashion, finance, and foundations of life. We are live on KCAA Radio Broadcasting Network, 1050 AM, 102.3 and 106.5 FM. KCAA is affiliated with CNBC, NBC News, and NBC Sports. We are sponsored by Sheltered Studios, Fire Up Connect, and Building Solid Foundation.
Welcome. This is Marie Waite, and I am here with our famous Wes Chandler. He is our Hall of Fame former NFL football player in San Diego. Wes, welcome to the Zoom Talk.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you having me here. I'm excited to be here.
So excited and so glad you took the time to have this discussion with me. And I wanted to just let people know how you and I met. I believe it was down in San Diego. I was invited to a dinner event, and you were there with, I don't know how many doctors were in that event. And
it was full. I was there with Lisa, my business partner in Tiva Bio, and I was just launching the new company. And my reason for being there is because the scientists that I was bringing on board and the technology company was there.
Wow. And I was so blessed to be there. I went there by myself, and I wasn't sure if I was in the right place. But to be honest with you, it was the best time I've had because I got to meet you. And I met Lisa also at that event. There was so many great information that came out of that dinner. And I also met Pamela at the same time. Pamela was so hospitable and so friendly that she welcomed me in that event.
Yes.
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 And then I ended up talking to one of the doctors, and he told me that, he's producing some things that will help football players. And I said, well, my son is a football player, and I'm worried about him. He's only 160 pounds, and, he was in the high school where he's the runner, and he's got the ball and everybody's chasing him. So I worry about him. But anyway, he told me that you need to talk to Wes because he's the guy. He's the #1 football, what do you call that? The position for, is it the
receiver.
runner? The receiver. There you go.
Which is what your son played.
#1 receiver. And so I went and talked to you, and right away I was so afraid because as a mom, I worry about my son.
Right.
And then you told me, what was the answer you gave me? Do you remember what you told me?
Well, basically, at the end of the day, football is something that most parents would be afraid of, especially moms. And my mother, God bless her, every time something happened to me, be it a sprained ankle or even a finger, or if I just got hit hard and went down, she was always running down the stairs. And and game of high school football, everyone knew my mom. It was like, no, here she comes again, but you get used to it. And I understood because mothers are very close, and we, in our society, it's kind of odd that sons and mothers, they gravitate so close together. And I guess the sons really want to be the gatekeepers to their mothers, and the daughters seem to gravitate to the dads. I guess because they can get away with so much when they say, "Oh, Dad." So I understood where you were coming from with the concern for your son.
Yeah, and I remember I said, well, Wes, my son is only 160 pounds. I'm so worried about it. And you said, well, do not worry, Marie. I was
Yes.
140 pounds when
I was 140 pounds coming out of high school, soaking wet. And I ended up at the University of Florida. And by the time I left, I was 44 pounds, 48 pounds larger. So naturally, the training table, the food you eat, the regiment, the off-season training actually helps you grow and develop both mentally and physically as well. So he'll change. He won't be the same person that you saw when he graduated from high school a year from now.
And Wes, how many years total years that you were in the football industry?
37.
37 years.
Over 37 years of football, not including Pop Warner in high school. That was from the professional ranks when I was 22 to the time I decided that it wasn't fun anymore, not even coaching, and I ended up with some ailments that prevented me from being able to coach like I would prefer to coach.
Okay. Well, normally a football player would last. What's the average number of years that they stay in the football industry?
On the professional level, it's 2.3 years, where I played 11 seasons. And anytime you can get to double-figure years, that's a lot. That's a long time. Most people are, when you get into your 30s as a professional football player, most of your friends are still working, and you've had what is considered a career. It's time to retire, and I did at age 33, and most of my friends were still, hitting the pavement every morning, 8 a.m., and here I was at home, really trying to figure out my next step. But God had a plan for me,
So for 37 years, and the other football players averaging between 2 to 3 years, what was the difference in terms of mindset? Because that was
my mindset was, when I was playing the game at the highest level, I understood that in order for me to continue to play at a high level, I needed to become a student of the game. I needed to be a student to understand the game itself and everything within it. So that's the mental part of it, where you become a student and you understand things and how things work and why plays are called either offensively or defensively to do certain things. There are strategies involved, and you have to execute as a player. So you have to have that understanding. So it's like film in your head. It's like a library. You've seen it all week as an example when you go into a game. So when you see a certain formation, a light clicks on and says, I've seen this before. I know what they're about to do. That's becoming a student of the game, and now you can go out and have an edge on your performance. But for the most part, being a student of the game, I became a fan to want to teach the game to the next generation. God had blessed me being the third overall pick and playing the game at a high level for a long time, and I wanted to reach back with the opportunity that I had to be successful, to help the younger ones, the next generation of players, to go out and perform. But there was something else that I needed them to do, and that was understand the game, appreciate the game, more importantly, not just take it for granted.
Okay, so after your professional, being a professional player, how many kids have you coached?
I've coached a lot of players. I've actually I went back to high school. When I retired, I had my own youth foundation when I was 25. That ran for about 19 years. I was also, at the same time, when I retired, I became a high school head football coach. And a year later, I was the head football coach and athletic director as well, responsible for all the athletics at a prep school in Daytona Beach, Father Lopez High School. And then I got involved with what was the World League of American Football, that eventually turned into NFL Europe. So my coaching career continued, and I was asked to get involved on the professional level. So I did that for 8 years. And then Jerry Jones comes along and makes me an offer to become the receivers coach for the Dallas Cowboys.
Wow.
From Dallas on to Minnesota to the Vikings, and from Minnesota to Cleveland to the Browns. And from there, I went to the UFL, from the United Football League, and then I became the president of what was then Major League Football, a new developmental league, to be the go-between in the path between college and pro for guys who had needed more developmental skills to try and make an NFL club. And in the process, and in between those two things, I also coached at University of Berkeley here in Northern California, where I had Keenan Allen. And so I've had the pleasure of coaching 6 first-round receivers, first-round picks.
Okay. Wow.
And I've known a lot of these kids since they were 10th graders, because I did Football University, which basically trains high school kids, and Under Armour.
Okay.
So I've done football on every facet, every level, all over the world. And I have a passion to help the younger ones, the younger generation, grow and develop into fine young men, not just football players.
So from what you said, it looks like if you're pretty much living and breathing in the football industry, because your passion has been like a huge service for everyone that have interest in football. You've provided that extension of knowledge.
I would say that, and oftentimes, to a degree, I would say that my greatest accomplishment wasn't the Chargers Hall of Fame. It wasn't the state of Florida Hall of Fame. It wasn't College Football Hall of Fame. It was being a 2-time academic All-American. That is my greatest accomplishment, not even being the 3rd overall pick. It told me more about me, the person, that I really want to stay in contact with, in touch with, because at the end of the day, that was God's gift to me. And when you make that transaction, when you are no longer this player that people watch and cheer for, and you make the transition from athlete to society, that change should not be very dramatic for you. If you've lived a life and you've tried to set a platform for the things that you would like to do moving forward in your life. Football was just a small stop along the way for the plan that God had for me. And that's people and making a difference in their lives.
That is so beautiful. So Wes, as far as I know now, you're still also doing something beautiful for the sports athletes, because you have this new company that you formed called WCTE. And I believe that the company is to serve and to help football players, avoid getting concussions and help them with the TBI.
Well,
so if you can explain that a little bit more about the WCTE.
I was a lead plaintiff also, and I know I shouldn't be on camera saying this. I was a lead plaintiff in the NFL's concussion lawsuit that is now settlement phase. The first thing I'll say is, if I had the opportunity to do it all over again, I would play the game all over again. I would play it, and I would play it at the highest level that I could. But there are things that come with giving your all to any sport, and not just football. It's just that football in itself, because of the force of impact, every time a ball is hiked or snapped, basically it's a green light for someone to get hit or be hit. Those are only 2 things happen in the game. You either hit somebody or somebody hits you.
Okay.
And because of this, you are faced with traumatic head trauma. And unfortunately, the traumatic head trauma creates what is called concussion, which is a TBI or traumatic brain injury. It is the most common TBI concussions there are. And because you have what's considered inflammation of the brain, you cannot stop someone from getting a concussion. You can change the equipment and you can change the rules, but at the end of the day, because of how the brain sits in your head, in liquid, in space, you cannot stop it because it's not stationary. And so even in the military, not just sports, you take the military for an example, the concussive force of bombs going off or Humvees turning over can create TBI, traumatic brain injury. Okay. In boxing, this has been going on since 1928. It's called punch drunk syndrome. Enough blows to the head, and those blows are rapid, create that inflammation. Mm-hmm. And for me, the results of that form these characteristics: memory loss, depression. Depression leads to suicide, sporadic behavior, aggressiveness. All of these things are characteristics that come from, over time, these traumatic head injuries, the trauma. And what happens over time is you're now faced with epidemics in our society: ALS, CTE, Parkinson's, dementia, and Alzheimer's. And so that's what the concussion lawsuit was all about to begin with. Not the fact that you receive a concussion, but the epidemics that come from the concussions. And because CTE, chronic traumatic encephalopathy, is nothing more than accelerated Alzheimer's, it winds the range of individuals or those who are subject to TBI because of that. And so I have my own story as to why I formed the company, and I was looking for something to help me with the characteristics of memory loss and depression. And so I was fortunate enough to be introduced to a therapeutic company and some scientists that had an interest in wanting to find out more about CTE. When I looked at the movie Concussion, every one of those individuals I knew personally or knew in some form. And some were close friends of mine, and some were just friends that I knew. And I realized that I too was now suffering from what was going to be what was forming to be an epidemic in the form of Parkinson's tremors.
Okay.
And when I discovered that, I ended up trying to hide it, because the game that I played on a professional level teaches you to be strong mentally as well as physically, and that there's nothing that you can't do to defeat your opponent. Well, I had come up against an opponent that I knew nothing about, because our scientists will tell you, first of all, CTE is new, and there's no real expert opinion out there with regards to chronic traumatic encephalopathy. So I needed to find something that gave me a better purpose for waking up every day, because I was depressed. I was suffering from memory loss, and I was short patient. I had mood swings, which is another characteristic.
Okay. So, and that's how it all started.
That's how it all started.
Okay.
I had a friend who I had a friend who wanted to do some business, and I said, let's do some business together. And we, at the time, uh, CBD was coming, and it was going to be the latest thing. And by all stretches, it was proven not to be harmful. It was safer than any prescription, and that there was a chance that CBD could do things for athletes, not illegally, but they could actually do things like inflammation, body inflammation, joint stress and pain, for one. And I was suffering from and going through the issues, and there was a chance that we could formulate something from CBD, hemp CBD, to do something for the inflammation in my brain, in my head. So after forming Tiva Bio, I was introduced by her to the scientists that had a therapeutic company, and they heard my story and wanted to do something on my behalf, and that was formulate and manufacture a product. And because of that, Neurostilbin was born, and it is a anti-inflammatory for not just sports, but anyone that suffers from the characteristics that I've spoken about, as well as the preventative, which is what it really is. It's a preventative anti-inflammatory. When you are going to participate in a sport or an activity that may bring concussive force to the brain.
Okay.
And if you take this prior to, and if you take this just after, then it gives a brain, it goes through the BBB, blood-brain barrier. It is it goes through the nostril, and it's a mist. And the product actually works. I've used the product. I'm a user myself. I have several former players that I know, some that I don't know, that I've given this product to, and they have their own testimonials for what this product has done. And we are in the process of getting a label for FDA approval for ages 12 and under, because you can't put the same label, you can't give the same dosage to a child.
Yes.
So we have this product. It's on our website. It's available, and so we have two phases to WCTE. The first phase is preventative, which is the Neurostilbin, and then the second phase for those that are beyond and they already have one of those epidemics that I spoke of. Then we also have access to stem cell.
Okay.
And we have a fantastic group of scientists and doctors, and we also have someone that's going to be our primary investigator, principal investigator for the research and development of a new drug. We just finished an IND application to the FDA for a new drug called Westcell.
Wow. So this is an incredible product for anyone who is in sport that could get a physical contact with anybody else.
Yes, it's very common in the four major sports for sure. Football gets the biggest attention because players have died. And to date, 136 brains tested, 131 had CTE.
Oh,
if
wow.
that tells you something. So a little less on the collegiate level, but over time, and as time goes by, it can happen. It also has, it also allows us to deal with soccer, because soccer players are always without protection, headgear. They're also getting concussions,
That's true.
The ball or running into one another. And then there's boxing, and boxing is called punch drunk syndrome. And my child idol in a sport of boxing was Muhammad Ali, who passed away of Parkinson's. And of course, the military, PTSD.
I see.
Concussive force. So And then you have some who are elderly that may develop Alzheimer's in the process. And as we know today, CTE is accelerated Alzheimer's.
Wow. Gosh, I mean, this is this. I think. I mean, as a mom, I'm excited to hear this because I am looking at my. I'm thinking about my son. He's still actively playing football, and I've given him some information actually about this. But again, you know, they're young, and I'm hoping that he can still take the time to understand what this is all about.
Well, I think the biggest thing is education, and most mothers are the ones that don't allow at the Pop Warner level to their kids, and they migrate to soccer, but not realizing that soccer too is also in an area where TBI, traumatic brain injury, can come, especially concussions. And I am a client of the product that we push, and I love this product. And I have my own testimonial for what this product has done for me. And every day, I hear from people that have brought the product, and they marvel at the product for what it has done for them personally. So my suggestion to those who are out there, especially moms, that are looking for a way out to allow your kid to still participate, your child to participate in sports, because interaction is very important for youth. That's part of growing. When they're adolescents and they want to have that interaction with others, it's part of their growth, physically and mentally. Okay. And they're scared in the simple fact that there is nothing that they can turn to and say, okay, maybe if we use this product or take advantage of an opportunity that may help as a preventative to keep my child from having damage to the brain, then I'm all for that. Because the limbs, things will happen to the limbs. That's just a given in anything. You can you can fall down the stairs. You can fall off a bike. This is so good to the fact that I used to say all the time that when I played the game sometimes and I got hit playing the position of receiver, I didn't see the hit coming and I didn't know it was coming from. And it felt like being in a car wreck. Because I've been in a car wreck before. And I know what that force of impact feels like. And I know what my body feels like when I go back to the locker room and the game's over. Win or lose, you still feel something when everybody's gone home and you're home. Now your feelings start to come back and you feel the soreness, you feel the pain. And sometimes you feel the pain mentally. You also feel the pain physically. Yeah. And I'm telling you that this product is a very viable product as a preventative for even the young ones, as well as the high school, collegiate, and professional individuals, and the common everyday person that may be suffering from dementia, MS, Alzheimer's, depending on where they are and the stages. We believe that this is a good product as a preventative and as a quality of life product.
So I have a question, Wes. So this is a mist that you put on your inside your nose and you spray it, and it goes to your brain, right?
Yeah, it goes to the BBB, blood-brain barrier.
Okay, so what does it do? Is it just protects it, or is it like, what is it? What is it doing in your brain?
Well, basically, you have, when you get information, for an example, you have issues that are going on in the brain. Like we have some of the ingredients in here is primarily designed, like the pterostibin within here protects every aspect of the brain. It can replenish the nerves.
Okay.
Surrounding those areas, and I'm just, most of the time when people ask me that same question, I tell them to take a bottle and try it. And what you do when you get it, because there is, when it's filled and it's ready for shipment, there's a safety cap on here. And basically, once you take the safety cap off, you pull it off. And this is a brand new bottle, by the way. And you pull the safety cap, the other cap off. You take one squirt and you shoot it away to release the pressure that has been built up in this bottle, because
Okay.
it's a pump. It's a pump like a mist. And now you are able to take. It gives you 2 milligrams per spray, and you can take 2 in each nostril before an event, or just 2 because you are not participating in sports in the morning and before you go to bed, or after a performance, you do it again, and
Okay.
that's your day. And you
Okay.
put-
So it helps the
Yes.
nerves of your brain.
It helps with that because they are inflamed.
Oh, I see. I see what you're saying because of the impact that they've
The impact.
experienced.
Yes, and sometimes it creates swelling. If you notice, like in boxing, a lot of times boxers eventually die because they can't relieve the swelling in the brain.
I see.
And if you just keep doing something, that's why it's repetitive head trauma. It's repetitive head trauma we're talking about, where you
Okay.
just keep pounding something. Eventually, it will eventually start to swell.
Yeah. And it develops even, I mean, it takes a while, but it develops by the time.
Over time, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Repetitive head trauma over time.
Okay. Well, I think this is such a, crucial information for people out there, especially if they are so passionate about getting into the sports industry. Their kids, I mean, they get
Well-
excited. I know when my son was young, he was into football big time.
Absolutely, and as I was as well. But I'll say this: in today's society, because of the injuries and because of what people have seen and read about professional athletes actually dying playing this particular game, this is why it gets the most attention, because players are actually dying from the epidemics that come from concussions over time. CTE is the number one, even though there is a lot of high cases of Alzheimer's also in ex-professional football players.
Yes.
Yes. So when you think about that, you think about the fact that the average everyday individual that have grandparents, and sometimes you think that they want to say that, well, they've lost their mind or they're not thinking straight. Some of that's just memory loss,
Mm-hmm.
or they just don't feel like doing anything today. That too can be depression. Just
So
like,
they can be also they can also use the product.
yes, and that's why
They
I
don't
say
even
that
have to be in
everyday
sports, but they
individual
can use the
don't
product
have to
too.
be in sport. They can use the product. Yes.
I see. So this is perfect for the seniors or
It's perfect for the
people
seniors,
that are.
and yes, and as I said, this product is a preventative and quality of life product for those who, first, we're trying to prevent
Mhm.
anyone from getting the ailments that lead to the epidemics in our society.
Okay.
All right, and secondly, for those who are already and that far gone, that's why the stem cell for what we're doing comes into play. And that's the reason why we produced the scientific video about the stem cell and where it is in clinical trial and case studies that allow us to write the IND application for a new drug, to have a principal investigator to do the research and development to hopefully find a cure for reversal.
Okay. Well, Wes, one thing I really admire on where you're at now with everything, the fact that you're experiencing the problems and you've taken care of it for yourself, but you also open up a new company that you wanted to share this to other people. You've always taken that extra step from learning football, being in the football, being successful in it, and then coaching so many kids, and then experiencing the problems that goes along with the football industry, and also giving the solution to your problem and sharing it to the world. That was such an incredible, inspiring way of life that you have done.
Well, thank you. I certainly appreciate that. I'm a firm believer that this part in this chapter in my life is again about making a difference in the lives of someone else. I don't wake up and work on WCTE because of myself and what I've gone through. I wake up and I do this because there's someone that loves me. I wake up and do this because there's someone that loves uh, a player who's playing this game, and they don't want them to end up being like uh, Junior Seau or Aaron Hernandez as example. Okay, I get that, I see that, and it has an impact not just on the player. More importantly, it has an impact on the friends and family. I know 6 people personally today that's dealing with epidemics that stem from concussions, CTE, dementia, Alzheimer's. And it hurts me to my heart because I know them personally,
Yeah.
not just those that were a part of the movie, like Dave Dorison, who I knew personally and played in Pro Bowls and sat on the executive advisory board with him, or Seau, who was my friend and I used to play golf with him. Also, not that. It's a simple fact that all of those people who love those people, when you lose someone, a loved one, it hurts, friend or family. And there are a lot of people who are playing this game today that may not know it, but may be in the way of one of these epidemics. And it doesn't have to be football.
Yeah.
And I want to be there, and I want this company to be there to make a difference in their lives, because I know what it's like to get a phone call at 2 in the morning because a wife or a girlfriend is now in a hotel because they can't stand to see their loved one going through what they're going through currently.
Yeah. Well, I am very blessed to be a part of this company because as a mother of a football player, I have my own fear of my son, getting hit or getting the same problems. So, again, I'm very fortunate to be a part of it. And Wes, you have been such a great leader for so many people. And, I thank you from the bottom of my heart on everything that you do for everyone. I mean, you are a very generous man and very talented. And the fact that you've extended all of this to so many people, so many families that can protect their children from getting all kinds of problems in health, I think that's amazing.
Listen, I would be remiss if I, as I said before, I was able to meet with a group of individuals that were heavily involved in the world of therapeutics, and we're the only therapeutic company that's doing what we're doing. And I thank them from the bottom of my heart for introducing me to those people. But I know the brilliance of Thomas Eacham. I know the brilliance of Dr. James Vetmeyer. I know the brilliance of Tim Dixon. And I know the brilliance of Dr. Santosh Kasari.
Okay.
And I'm grateful for who they are and what they do and the endless hours of work and study that they're putting in to help find a cure
Okay.
for what this monster has brought to our society.
Yes. Well, one last thing, Wes, I wanted to just ask you if you can give a word to people that are dealing with, so many problems right now, with the pandemic, disease that we're dealing with.
I would say that if there was one thing that I could single out, it would be because my life has been sports. But in sports, it's about team, not about the individual. And every game we played, it didn't matter if it was a preseason game or a regular season game, or for those who are fortunate to play in the Super Bowl. There's always a game plan. And the game plan is set to put you in the best position to succeed. And I relate that what coaches do with the game plan to what CDC has laid out.
Okay.
They have a game plan for us. And in order for us to succeed or be successful and have a chance to win, you have to execute the game plan. When you go off as an individual, there's a breakdown in team play, and the results is generally a bad play. So the point is, when CDC gives you a game plan, which they have already laid out, the expectation to the rest of my teammates, which all of you are, is to help execute that game plan so we can be successful. That will give us the best chance to defeat this opponent, which is a very, very tough opponent. Believe you me, I've seen some tough opponents. And I'm not talking about the Oakland Raiders or the LA Raiders or the Chiefs or the Broncos or the Dolphins or the Steelers or the Giants or the Saints. I'm talking about coronavirus. This is the toughest opponent I've ever seen and ever had to face. But I say to you, if we execute the game plan, we stand a better chance of winning.
Yeah.
And that's part of being a team player.
That's amazing. Well, so thankful for your time, Wes. I'm hoping that people will share this video to all of you listeners out there, who's watching these videos. Please share it to everyone. Wes is an amazing leader, and he's doing so many great things, and definitely can inspire so many people also within their life and within their situation. So, Wes, thank you so much for everything, and hope that we can schedule another call again.
Absolutely.
and get more updates on the WCTE, because I'm excited with the future of the company, and I can't wait to hear all the stories that would come out of it.
Thank you. I look forward to it. Thank you. Stay safe. Stay healthy.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, and have an amazing week.
Welcome to the Fabulous Lifestyle Radio Show, where we talk about food, fashion, finance, and foundations of life. We are live on KCAA Radio Broadcasting Network, 1050 AM, 102.3 and 106.5 FM. KCAA is affiliated with CNBC, NBC News, and NBC Sports. We are sponsored by Sheltered Studios, Fire Up Connect, and Building Solid Foundation.
Fire Up Connect is the most innovative business networking group, supporting and collaborating with a dozen of small businesses that are interested in building and establishing strong business connections, hosting educational live seminars while carrying out business and community-driven projects, as well as marketing programs as a part of its membership program. Fire Up Connect also offers virtual assistance with a wide range of services, including inbound customer support, chat support, appointment setting and email management, graphic designing, video editing, web design and development, social media marketing, e-commerce solution, content writing, and much more. For more information, head on over to www.fireupconnect.com. Fire Up Connect, helping success stories unfold every day.
The toughest part in the lending process is patience. Like I tell all my clients, once you get those keys in hand, it'll all be worth it.
Everything that they said they were going to do, they did. I saved so much money working with First Lending Solutions. I love my new house. I couldn't be happier.
So reach out to me at First Lending Solutions so I can help you get started.
You can contact Dafina Miller with First Lending Solutions at 951-973-0123, DafinaMillerMortgage.com.
I love how new school is able to help me greatly with my career.
Because they actually have experience working in the field. The greatest thing about new school is the fact that there are so many different disciplines, which allows you to really understand and get a good insight into different types of design. And I think it's that whole changing mindset of what design can really do for a city, and this is kind of the place to be.
This environment cultivates creative thinking.
Real Men of Real Estate with Steve Matley, construction manager and real estate developer, business owner, and educator.
Did you know that right now there's 22,000 units deficit?
Tunde Ogunwale, real estate development professional, Naval Academy grad, and veteran with a deep understanding of the public sector process.
All of us want to live in thriving communities.
Brian Fox, real estate expert and investor, dedicated to helping hundreds of clients make money in real estate every year.
There's so much housing going in.
The builders are begging for more land.
Future company can come in, lease up space to employ those people who are living in the homes.
We have to put the housing in place.
They either have to have houses.
They want to make sure that there's a strong employment.
Logistics centers, things like information hubs. We are a shipping economy now. There's economies all over the country where their prices are doubling and tripling.
ProLogic Radio, your mind spring.